Shalom, everybody. Hello. Before we get started here, I just wanted to share that I'm going to be issuing a challenge to believers to see if what we can do to change the world or affect the world with the truth of the gospel in an effective way, and maybe get some feedback from it, other people as well. But I have an idea. It's a novel idea somewhat, in that I don't think anybody has tried it this way yet, and it's a little advertising campaign. It's just an challenge to to Christians and to present the gospel. And it won't be for anybody. It won't be for a church or for me or for anybody. It'll just between us and God, or you and God, if you would like to participate. But anyways, having said that, so I didn't want to forget that, but I'm working on that. And let me see what we got going here. Oh yeah, studying the MtDNA. But first, before we get started, let's do some discovery. This is the Y chromosome, of course. It's an interesting Y chromosome because it seems to belong to the T and the L group. If you look at the T and the L group, notice here how it's in Greece, and this L went to India, but the T apparently went to another part. This is the T? No. Okay. Gotta find out where I'm at here. Maybe I'll have it somewhere else. This is a specific G1. Okay, this is interesting. J1, okay. And this, of course, is the mitochondrial DNA. We'll be taking a look at this in a little bit. Okay. And the mitochondrial, of course, is L, M, and N. Then there's this R, which seems to me to be the basic Jewish Semitic MtDNA. Or it's at least Semitic, but it's a specific Semitic because it won't have this A or this B in there or some other ones. It's just that specific to basically the Jewish MtDNA, which is the HV, JTU, IWNX or something. HV and U, basically. And the J and T. But this is mitochondrial, not to be confused with the Y chromosome. Mitochondrial is a maternal line, and that's what we want to be studying today. Eventually, when I get to it. Okay, this H1 turns out to be Dravidian. This is a specific one. That's why it's not so much. But it's Elamites, Elamo-Dravidian, it appears to be. So This is what? Oh, this is the T. I think this is the T. So the T somehow got concentrated here in the Horn of Africa and India. And it's throughout Europe too, not so much in Greece. But the other one, which was the L, is more concentrated in Greece. Okay, so this is interesting here. This is what I was noticing about the F. Of course, the FY chromosome seemed to be insignificant to me, the way they presented it, but I'm seeing here the FY chromosome was very prominent, very significant in these areas, basically here. And it turns out that it's the Arameans or Syrians, and not so much in Europe. Not so much in this area here of Europe. So it doesn't seem to be the Assyrians. The Assyrians, the GY chromosome went up this way, so it's not the G, so it's got to be the F, which is the Arameans, which is the Syrians. So the Arameans, looks like they really, took over here. Because the Elamites are from here, Arameans are from over here, and when the Arameans took control as Syrians, they just completely dominated the region, apparently, because this blue is the F Y chromosome, and it's the Arameans. G, of course, is not so strong, but it does go up into Europe. But notice the G, Assyrian, compared to the blue. See the pink? So we're comparing the pink to the blue. The pink is just like a sliver here compared to the blue Syrians or Arameans. There's pink here, pink, pink. Up here in Turkey, it's fairly strong because this is the area of the Arab. This is where they started out, anyways. The Assyrians, not to be confused with Syrians. Assyrians from Ashur are the GY chromosome. See the pink right there? That's where it originated from, actually. So that's consistent. Plus the fact that it went up into Europe, into Germany. So that's consistent there. The F Arameans dominated this region here, as we can see here. You can see the result here with the FY chromosome. The only other one is the H, which is the Elamites, Elamo-Dravidians. Then there's another one, Lud, but the Lud, I can't find a trace of the Lud, so I don't know what the Lud is. There's the other son of Shem. Of course, the Arpachshad is the originator or progenitor of the I and the J. The I2 and I1 and the J2 and J1. That would be Arpachshad, the progenitor of Abraham. But notice how the Y chromosomes seem to get really hammered, especially in this Middle East area in the middle, when compared to the others. Okay, and then we have the R over here. The R dominated Europe, the same way the Arameans dominated the Middle East. The R, purple, dominated Europe, as you can see here. And they went into India as well. Okay, so then we got I got this, wait a minute. Hold on. We got the light blue and the darker blue. Okay, the darker blue is the R. and the purple. So it's the blue and the purple up here. The blue and the purple is the R. Blue and the purple. So that's the Asian Japhethite Y chromosome, which dominated Europe, probably due to, in part, Attila the Hun, who was probably mostly his band of um, warriors or whatever were probably mostly our Y chromosome, which is the Asian Y chromosome. It's the only thing in Europe that's predominant is the RY chromosome. And the other ones would be the Javan, which I believe is the T, the TL. So the Javan was the T and the L. Remember, see if we can go back here and look. This is the T. And the L is more concentrated in Greece here, as you can see. Well, the other one, I forgot this one. This is the I. No, this is not it. Well, I don't know where I gotta find it again. Anyway, there's the G. Remember the Assyrian? And probably the Assyrians, anyways. This is the R or whatever. I'm really lost. The I. Look, this is the T. Looking for the L. Wherever the L went to. I don't know. I'll find it some one of these days. Anyways, I showed the L here. As you can see, it was all throughout this area here. But it'd be the L and the T. So for that, I think I have to go to, let's see. I have to go to wherever it is. Oh, maybe I can find the L here. Should be able to find it here. Anyways, to give you an idea what I'm talking about, the T and the L, let me just show this right here real quick. Computer slow. Okay, the T and the L. Notice here how the T and the L seem to branch off from the same source. The M, K, and S seem to branch off from another source. So what it turns out is out of 7 sons of Japheth, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 left of the Y chromosome. The R is Gomer. The O is probably Magog, and is, since the T and the L are probably Javan, then the other one would be up for grabs for Meshach, Tubal, and Madai, unless they're separate here. Maybe one of these is separate. But it looks like they all come from the same root source. It's hard to tell. And I'm not sure if they really knew for sure what the case is, but it's it's all the same family anyways. All these 4 or 5 or whatever it is the same family. But the L and T look like they're the same thing because they are separate. They are in 2 different locations, and so that explains that. So the L and the T, but the L is in a certain location. The T is more concentrated, I think, in Greece, or is it the L? I think the L is concentrated in Greece. Well, let me see if I can find this map here. Got the F. The F. It's got to be here somewhere. Let me just look at the maps. What's this? This is the T. It's not the one map I was looking for, but you can see how it's concentrated here in this area. And this is where Javan settled. But of course, I guess they moved this way too. But it's hard to say. Could be somebody else as well. Maybe Javan and Tiraz are both Neanderthals, extinct Neanderthals in Europe. But there are the extinct Neanderthals in Europe are probably descended from Japheth because it's the Asians that have the most mitochondrial DNA, as well as the Denisovans. So that's one map of the T. There's another map somewhere. Of course, this is this is LT. It's mostly T. This one. It's mostly T. What's this? This is T. Oh, this was LT. Because this is T. Yeah. So this is LT. Notice how you have this area here. This is from the L. This is the T area. And it's not showing strong in Greece, but anyway, this is the Japhethite Y chromosome. The L is concentrated in here, the T is concentrated over here, and of course they both share areas, but it's really the same originator of the Y chromosome. It's just a matter of understanding who it is. Maybe it's Madai, I don't know. But I was thinking it was Javan, but maybe Javan has just gone the way of the Neanderthals, Javan and Tiraz both. Okay. Another one of the L. Maybe this is what I'm looking for. I can't, yeah, okay, here we go. It's better. It shows a little more here. This is only the L, not the T. So it is, it's hard to say. But I have to look into it more, apparently, because it's not very definitive. Could be Meshach Tubal or Madai. Could be Madai for all I know. But whatever it is, it remains to this day where, you know, several other suns don't even appear in the world's today's population, because whenever there was wars and things, it's the male Y chromosome that got eliminated. Which is what I want to talk about today is the MtDNA. The MtDNA is the Elamites and Dravidians, Elamo-Dravidians. The the MtDNA, of course, it's a very interesting thing. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to basically eliminate all these. I'll X this one out. X this. X this or X it. J2 Y chromosome. World Y chromosome. Oh, this is difference between Tarshish and Nineveh. Anyway. Yeah, so what we had here is the L and the T somehow got concentrated down in the Horn of Africa and India. So it could be Tubal, Madai, Meshach. I'm thinking it's Madai. Because when they migrated, they migrated this way and this way. So I'm thinking it's Madai. But then there's the S and the T's. So I have to find out who's the S and the T's. I thought Madai would be the K, S, and T. I mean, the K, S, and what was it? K, the M, the K, the S. M, K, and S. That, so that could be Madai. And these are the choices of the Japhethite DNA. There's 7 of them. There's 1 Javan, 2 Tiraz, 3 Gomer, 4 Magog, 5 Meshach, 2 Bo, and Madai. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's hard to say. I don't know. I don't know if it's Magog. That's O, and N in the north. In the north, there's N up in this top region here, because Magog obviously went north, and in the O's are in Asia, not toward that area, over way over on the other side. But anyways, some or many of these, or some of them got eliminated or went extinct, such as the Neanderthal Y chromosome over here. I'm not sure about the Denisovans, whether they were another tribe, either Meshach, Tubal, Meshach. Maybe Meshach went around over here to Asia. Maybe Meshach went this way, and Madai is the L and the T, or the T and the L. The T's over here, the L's over here, which is the same branch, the same line. Hard to say. Again, the same setup. The reason why I figured out Gomer is the RY chromosome is because of Ashkenaz is Gomer's son. And the Ashkenazi Jews have predominantly a RY chromosome, but of course that was the people in the region anyways, so may not be Gomer, but I think it is. Other than that, Tiraz, Javin, Tubal, Meshach, and Madai, and Magog. So it's hard to say, hard to know exactly who it were. Maybe Meshach is, well, Meshach, or is it Meshach? I don't know. So let's get rid of some of this clutter here, because I think I have copied what I need. I don't know what that is. What's this? The M, the K, the C, the O. So what I was talking about, the O's, the O3, and the M and the K. MK and S. MK and S, and the O, and the N's. But anyways, that's the Y chromosome. This is Q. Q is what? Q. Oh, the Q is not. Oh. The Q is not in this picture. So we have another possibility here. Oh, the Q, yeah, the Q is. The Q is a part of R. Same difference. Same thing. And of course, see, it doesn't show up, but the Q is off in this area as well. So that's a little bit misleading there. But of course, the R is in this area. The Q is in this area as well. The I2. Gotta get rid of some of this clutter. Now, this is interesting because this is supposed to be ancient DNA. The ancient DNA here, it shows the Y-DNA, the MtDNA. So the MtDNA were H and U, H, U, and V originally in Europe. H, J2, U. See, this is very confusing because there's U4, 3, 5, T2, U5, HJ1s. This is a mitochondrial now. Okay. Get rid of that. The G, the Syrians. Okay, would it be the Assyrians, the Arameans? It can't be the Elamites because the Elamo-Dravidian are the same thing as H. Dravidians are H. So the Elamites are probably the H. So the only other options are F and G of the surviving Y chromosomes. So the F and the G, it's either F or G. And since it's not in this heavily in this area, it's not F. It has to be G. Because F is predominantly in this area, as we saw in the other map. So it seems to be straight, pretty much. Okay, this is OY chromosome, N, C, and Q, and R. So Y chromosomes of China, probably. It seems, yeah. Of course, the N's are up in northern Siberia. C's, we know who that is. That's Nimrod. So all this dark red is Nimrod. And there's D somewhere too. D's not here. It's not showing up. But there is D over here too. Q is the same thing as R. So this pink stuff is Q. Notice how isolated they are. Everything is isolated, it looks like. C is pretty much isolated. The Q is isolated from the N's, which are isolated from the K's. Oh, the K and the R. What's the R doing here? R1A. Well, it's the same family as the Q anyway. Same family as the Q. And the rest is O. O, 1, 2, and 3. So all this blue, light blue, is O. And of course, that's K. That's map of China. Again, pretty much same thing. The only difference is here we got different compositions there. F, I don't know what F is doing here. F, C, K, M, O, P, R. So we got the K is this light blue, which is actually in Australia as well. The of course the M and the P. Anyways, this is Y chromosome anyway. Okay. Trying not to confuse this thing too much. This N, yeah, but this is just a cross section basically. M what? Where's the T? G is the Syrians. T again. Don't know what that is. This is what? R1. Okay, it's R. And the J2 is the Judaic, not to be confused with the Israelite or the Arabic. The J1 is in this area, the Arabic. The J2, in case anybody knows where the Jews went, that's pretty obviously where they went here, according to this map. Of course, they're very highly concentrated in places like Italy and other places in the Mediterranean, all around, of course, in Israel. But this is a surprise to me, all the way from Greece, or actually Italy, this swathe, as they call it, swath, from Italy all the way to the end of Iran and beyond, Uzbekistan and stuff like that, all the way into China. All the way into China, you have the J2. Remember, the Bible says that they will come from as far as the land of Sinim. Anybody know what Sinim is? This here is Sinim, Sino land. So there it is right there. The prediction of the Bible that Jews will come from Sinim, which is China. So that's very telling. Of course, who would have imagined that there's such a, up to 40% of the population in some places of Turkey and Iran. Of course, this is Iraq, right? But Turkey, Iran, and of course Italy and Greece and these places up even farther east. And one time the Jews for Jesus were distributing tracts in a Jewish neighborhood, and this Chinese man came up to him and says, "I'm offended." They said, "Why are you offended? Are you offended because you're Chinese?" He said, "No, I'm offended because I'm Jewish." True story in New York or somewhere. It was a Chinese Jewish person from China. True story. Why would I make it up? Okay, this is the S and the S and the K, or S and the T, S and M, S and the M, yeah. So H, yeah, P and the Q. Oh, this is the mitochondrial. Not to be confused. Okay, this is the mitochondrial. So yeah, this is what I wanted to study, mitochondrial DNA. Of course, all this green here is, guess what? See the green here, the R. This is what I was talking about. The N's are Semitic. Everything under N is Semitic. So that includes this. I don't know what color it is. Light brown color. Yeah. Okay. Yellow. More like yellow color. Have to tilt the screen. So this yellow up here, these yellows here are predominantly or significantly Semitic. It's the A and the B is what it is. I don't know why I have the B as R. Yeah, they have the B as R. I don't know why. But the B is not, it's not like a signature MtDNA of the Jewish people. So I guess with the exception of the B, um, which is this is the Semitic mitochondrial DNA. Now people don't believe me when I say that Europe is 95% Semitic and actually Israelite mitochondrial DNA. But this is what it is. The U, the H, and the V, and the J and T. These are signatures of the Jewish mitochondrial DNA. And of course, the L, 1, 2, and 3 are the Egyptus, and otherwise the Hamite family tree, mitochondrial tree of the Hamites, which for some reason did not only is basically exclusively in Egypt and in these places here in Africa. And of course, so the M's now, the M, notice the M's are not, they're in, this is the Japhethite mitochondrial DNA. So somehow the Japhethites, they, I mean, we can see the results of where the Japhethites ended up, the mitochondrial DNA, which is the the C, the Z. Now here they have it confused. They got the A and the B in here. The A and the B doesn't belong in here because it's not an M. So that's another thing. So this is kind of confused. These people are confused because the M, the A and the B don't fall under M. Well, we can see that from another chart. The A and the B follow under N, but they're not. Well, the B is supposedly falls under the R, but it's not a. When we got the F, the it's not a signature of the Jewish or Israelite population. These here are the signature of the Jewish population or the Israelite population. Now, of course, we got a lot to investigate about this. But let's just double check, take another look here at the other in like in Australia. But the what falls under N, I mean, what follows under M is the D, the Z, the D, the C, the Z, and the X or the G or something. No, the X is over here. Well, I got to check the other graph because this is not reliable. So what's this? This is J1, of course, by way of review, out of place, out of order. J1 would be the Arabic Abrahamic descendants. Descendants of Abraham, not by way of Jacob. And you can see the result is what's expected, what's to be expected. Again, the G, here's the G, see? Now this G is showing where this is that's the area of Assyria right here, or actually right here. I mean, yeah, Assyria, not to be confused with Syria, but Assyria is all this area here, and they went into Europe as well. But this is G1 anyway. It's not, it's not to be confused with G. It's just G1. One segment of G, which is always confusing too. So I want to get rid of everything that's confusing. The Q, that's confusing. The S and the M and the O. Now this is the largest population in the world, the O's, and it includes places like Korea and Japan, and these other areas in the Oceania. They call it Oceania, but it's the O is the largest population majority by far of the entire world is the O Y chromosome by itself, not including the N, which also belongs to the O population. So the O and the N is really the same family tree. Here's the L. Remember the L up here, and the H is the H Dravidian, which is H is Semitic, L is Japhetic. I was thinking it was Javan, but maybe it's Meshach or Tubal or somebody. Meshach, Tubal, who knows? Could be. So, what we need to do, oh, hey, I got people watching some once in a while. Hello, everybody. Erica, Jeremy, Martin, Hate Love Nothing, Honesty Angel, and everybody. Okay. So now I'm going to begin. I'm going to begin the MtDNA haplogroup study, not Y chromosome. It is still connected, yeah. Apparently, everything's still working okay. So let's go to the graph. MtDNA. We'll go with the graph. Because I want to distinguish which one is the N and which one is the M's. Of course, the MtDNA is the maternal line, maternal DNA lines. Okay, I'm not seeing what I want to see. Here's one here. Which is very confusing too. This one here is very confusing. I already looked at it. Got the A, B, C, and the D. The A and the B is one, the C and the D is another. So this is, and it's almost the same color because they're both in South America, but it's very confusing. It's a horrible map or a graph or whatever. Here's the one I need, or it's better anyways. Okay, so remember, as I said before, we have the three is the L, the M's, and the N's are the three groups, and then there's a subgroup of R, which I said was the Semitic. I mean, not the Semitic. This is all Semitic, but this is the Israelite Semitic, with the exception of B here. Now, what the B is doing in here, I don't know. But the B's over here in Americas. But these are but most of this, remember the H, this is very familiar, all very familiar. The H, the V, the J, the T, the U. Basically, this right here, this blue right here, this light blue, is the Semitic signature MtDNA. Different color blue here, but that's okay. And then there's the X too. The X belongs here in Europe too, which is also Semitic, but it seems to be part of the signature as well. The X, the H, the V, the J, the T, and the U. And anyway, so see if there's anything else we can find. That's YDNA. It's supposed to be MtDNA. MtDNA. Just put map in here. Okay. So that's an old map. Okay, this one we've seen before. See if I can get a different one. Here's one here. Simplified. Now this is their belief that everything came from L. That's why they have it, this step ladder thing. So that would mean, if that was the case, it would mean these Ks and K2s over here are the same genetic distance as these Ls over here. But is that what we see? Is that what we see? Is that what we see over here? Because if one came from the other, it should be just as old, right? So if that's the case, they should have the same genetic distance as the Ls. What is this, taking a long time or something? There we go. My computer or something. They want me to do an update, I guess that's what they or anyways, see this is all genetic distance. The L, that's why they call it the L00000 is because it's the greatest number of mutations. Supposedly the most original line. But you can see it breaks off from the beginning anyways. L3 breaks off from the same place as this one breaks off. This breaks off, these break off, almost the same or later on. But if that was the case, if like what is it, the L3 that they say? The L3 is supposed to give rise to first this one and then this one, or this one and this one at the same time. They can't make up their mind how they want to formulate that. But anyways, in this case, they have the ends. Where's the M's? This is just the ends. Oh, this is all N. The M is not even in this picture. But they're trying to say that all the N's came from this originally L3 by way of, I guess, the M's. I don't know. But it would be mixed up from the Y chromosome if that was the case. Okay, we look at this one here. Here's a simplified version. Okay, now they have them separate. They have them branching off separate. So this is the European R. See the N. You have the Asian Semitic Y chromosomes, if there is such a thing. And then the R's are more of the Semitic, what they call European, U, K, J, T, H, and V. But these European mitochondrial DNAs, this is the same signature as in the Jewish populations, as we can see from a pie chart. If there's a pie chart, no pie chart handy. Okay, but we can easily fix that. Just put this in here. And if that doesn't work, well, they worked, I guess. Okay, I just have to see if this is MtDNA. Yeah, this is MtDNA. Okay. We magnify this a bit because this is worth taking note of. Because, of course, this is what I've been talking about for a while now. I've been mentioning the letters. You might remember them. They're H, the K, the HV, the J, of course, the N and the T and the U. These are all seem to be present in the, well, this is a Romanian Jew. But these always seem to be present. Of course, you have to have the, and look at this. This is, of course, Europe, right? Romanian Jew. Look at the percentage of the M and the L's. You have 2% of the Hamitic, 2% of the Japhethite MtDNA in Europe, 2%. The rest is Semitic. Now, people, might find it hard to believe when I say Europe is the Semitic population. Mitochondrially, it's 95% Semitic. Look at it, 2% plus 2% is 4%. What does that give you? About 95%. There's 1% other. 95%, and who knows what the other is, probably Semitic anyways, as well. Could be, anyway. 95% of Europe is, well, of course, this is the Jewish population, but it's the same thing with the European population, which I've also noticed. Basically the same thing. Okay, this is the Y haplogroup. Let me put the pie chart in here. Okay. Ancient Europe, modern Europe. I could do modern Europe. Yeah, why not? We'll do this. Look at this. Well, this is the A, the B, the E. No, but this is not. This is confusing. This is not the same thing. This is something else. Okay, here's what I've seen before. This is showing the difference between the ancient. Oh, come on. Why not? Showing the difference between the Neolithic and the modern. Okay. So we'll do this again. Okay. So this is the more ancient. This is the modern. Okay. What do we have in the modern? Look at all these letters here. Does it ring a bell? You got the U, the H, V, the H, the N, the K, the T, the J. This is regular Europe, ancient and today. T, the J, and the X. Okay. What the study noted is that it's basically the same, just with maybe a little bit more variety. I mean, if instead of the HV, instead of the U and the HV, oh, these are all different U's. Mostly U in a Mesozoic. Then it's the HV, and then they're saying it's just basically the same thing with different proportions. Today, this is what it is. Let's go back. Let's go back in time a little ways. This is basically the same thing. This is not determined. The not determined is what's the Asian. But what I need is showing how much. I can show this one here. This will give you an idea. This is all the way in Portugal. Okay, this is a Portuguese host compared to the Jewish population. You got the Bragança Jews, the Belmonte Jews, and the Portuguese host. Let me open this up a little bit. Okay. Okay. Notice here's a good breakdown of what I was trying to explain before. You have the L's, the M's, the N's, and the R's. Now this is good because it's color coded. Well, a little bit. In that, well, you can see the percentage of the M. The M is the Asian Japhethite Y chromosome. So anything that's yellow or yellowish orange, you can see this little sliver there. That's the percentage of the Asian Y chromosome in Portugal. Of course, it's non-existent in the Jewish population, but it's basically the same thing here as here as far as the MtDNA is concerned. It's basically looks almost exactly the same, except that you got the HV instead of the, you have one in H instead of the other. The other one's a dark green. It's a different HV or HV4 or something. But it's still the same thing. All these greens, they're all basically the same. And this is interesting that this one group basically has one Jewish mother, but the other ones has a variety of Asian Y chromosome or Japhethite. I mean, I'm mixing everything up. The Semitic Y chromosome, because I'm used to thinking in terms of Y chromosome. So most of this is Semitic. The only thing that's not Semitic would be this white color. See the white color and of course in Portugal you should expect it. And this gray, like this white color and the gray color before the orange. So everything here, what would that be about? Looks like maybe not quite 10% is Hamitic mitochondrial maternal DNA. This yellow sliver right there, that's the Asian maternal, did I say Y chromosome? It's a maternal haplogroup. So this little sliver is not very significant. And of course, the African is strong because of its location right on the other side of Africa. But you can see the breakdown here. There's the L, the M's, and the N's. And the R's are mostly what the Jewish Y chromosome is. The U's, the R's, the J's, the T's, and the H's. And the only thing that's not is that B. Where's that B? Okay. It's the R. I don't know if it shows up here. Here's the B right here. See this B? This is what went to America. And it's branched off from this basically Judaic or Israelite mitochondrial DNA. So you got the U's and the RO's, R0 and U. But anyways, this B somehow made it to America. And of course, the A is in this other group over here, which is not to be seen here. It's not, you can't see it. So the W's and X's are not, and of course the A, which is not here. It's not shown here, of course, because this is Europe anyway. But it does show the B for some reason there. I guess it's split. So let's see what this is. Okay, this is, we looked at that, I think. About this Y chromosome. Here's MtDNA, Iranian. This is not the MtDNA. Okay. I like it when they have different regions and they don't tell you what it is. Our diversity. Oh, this is faith. People's face. Faiths. Faiths. Okay, see if this is any better. Diversification, final Neolithic. I have no idea what this is about. They don't know what it is either, apparently. Okay, things that talk about it's not even DNA. They got graphs and stuff of what's not even DNA. Here's DNA. Let's look at this. Okay, J-test. It's showing you the region. It's not telling you what it is, which is very annoying. That, what difference does it make what region it is? I want to know what it is. That's too hard to understand. Okay. Pie chart, mitochondrial haplogroups found among, who's this? I don't know. But this is the mitochondrial haplogroups, which is probably the best thing I'm going to find, which is the usual, the H, the I, the J, the K, the U, the N's, and the R. Okay, the T's and the U, T and U's. The U. Okay. Now the only thing that's not, well, remember the A and the B are Semitic. I think the W and the X and the C and the D, not sure about the S, is Asian. Very small amounts of Japhetic Y chromosome. And the E's, where's the E? I mean, where's the L's? Here's the L's. A very small amount as well. L2, L1, these are small percentages. Let me make this larger here. I can't even see it, and you're expected to see it on YouTube. Okay, so let's try this again. We already know the A, the B, the C, the D. Well, actually, the C and the D is Japhetic. The A and the B is Semitic, but not necessarily the Jewish population. What were the X and the W, I think, and the V, what were they? The U's, the T's and the R's and M's and M's. Okay, the M, of course, is not. That's a small sliver for the M's and the L's. Okay. But you have the same signature populations, the H, the HV, the K. Major ones are the K, the H, HV and the J. There's J1, J significant amount, J2, and there's J2. Yeah, so this entire area here is J, and this is I. These are like signature amounts of the Semitic Y chromosome. Of course, there's the T and the U. The U and the T always seem to be significant amounts in the Y chromosome. And of course, this is K. This large chunk here is K. This large chunk is T. This one is U. This one's H. And this one's J. So that's basically what it is. And of course, this is not even Jewish, from what I understand, or is it? Oh, maybe it is. I think all the information is Jewish investigations. They want to know about Jewish DNA, I guess. Okay, this is this the MtDNA? Maybe this is better. No, this is not. This is Y chromosome. But again, in case nobody noticed, it's the A, B, C, D, E, which is all this. F, which is a Y chromosome in and of itself. F, G, and H are the three other Semitic lines, not Abrahamic. Because this is very confusing here. They got the I. The I is actually onto this J2 tree right here. And the K, of course, the K element of P is another branch, but the I connects to this J line here. So I and the J are really the same thing. So all these greens, but this is Y chromosome anyway, so it's not even part of the discussion here. Okay. Well, I don't know. They got all kinds of pie charts, totally unrelated to DNA. I'll put it. First, I'll just take the one out. Okay. I think I have a problem here. This is too much of the Jewish DNA. I want to see what the European is. I'll just write European. Okay, modern Europe, ancient Europe. Same thing here. Bird, I don't know what that has to do with anything. What does that have to do with Europe? What should I know about MtDNA haplogroups? Okay, this looks like it might have, yeah, here we go. This is a better chart for purposes of finding out the genetic makeup of Europe. Because we're all learning together. I've previously looked at it before, but let's see what's in here that's not. I think the W and the X is not. I think the W and the X is Asian. So basically the greens is japhethite. So anytime you see green, that's japhethite. The rest is Semitic, and it's mostly Israelite signature mitochondrial DNA. So in other words, it's the Jewish mothers, there's actually four Jewish mothers. I guess it's the H, the K, the T, and the U, or something like that. H, the J, the K, the T, and the U. Four Jewish mothers, and V, which of course broke down into other smaller groups, subsets. So let's look for the green. This is I, W, and X. I think the I, the W, and X are the Asian Y chromosomes. I mean, Asian mitochondrial DNA haplogroups. It's hard to even communicate the way they have this stuff set up. Okay, so we can see larger numbers over here, and the more north you go, the more green there is, and the more to the west you go, generally speaking, with the exception here, the more green there is. And apparently there's quite a bit of green in Greece or Turkey. But in these other areas, you can see not a whole lot of green, not a whole lot of Asian MtDNA. More than what I thought, but it's still not that much. Some areas, of course, doesn't even have it, any. Here's a sliver. Here's a sliver. Of course, this is the area that Israel went up into. Israel and Assyria as well, but mostly Israel. And of course, some of the Assyrians could be Israel anyways. So I could have joined themselves to Israel. That's what I'm saying. So this is the area of the steppes. This is where the Scythians and around this side here is where the Jewish populations were, most notably in this area right here. So you have strong Jewish populations here without much green, without very much green. Okay, what's this Israeli Jews? Druze? What are Israeli Jews? Druze. Druzes. What's a Druze? Okay. Arabic speaking, esoteric, ethno-religious group originating in Western Asia, who self-identifies the people of monotheism. Jethro of Midian is considered ancestor of Druze. Jethro. Midianites? Who were the Midianites? Who was Jethro? Who revered him as a spiritual founder? Jethro of Midian. See, there's so much history we got to find out. Okay, Midian, let's go here. Midian was son of Abraham. Abraham's great grandson Joseph. Midian, the son of Abraham? Midianites or Ishmaelites? Oh, so the Midianites are Ishmaelites? either the Midianites or Ishmaelites. I thought it was Ishmaelites or Midianites. But like, if it was an Ishmaelite, I could see son of Abraham, but I don't know if was Midian one of the other sons. See who the sons of Abraham were. Okay, who are the sons of Abraham? I don't remember Midian being one of them, but let me check. Who were Abraham's sons? Ishmael, Isaac, in the Bible. Come on. Skip it. Can't work. Not this minute, anyways. Who were Abraham's sons? I have to go to Wikipedia if they won't let me read. Okay. This is very confusing as well. Oh, what did I do? Let's do that. Go to Wikipedia. How about that? Makes more sense. Okay, here it is right here. Shem, Arpachshad, Terah, Abraham. Abraham said, wait a minute. Oh, Nahor. Oh, these are sons of Terah. This doesn't even show. Ishmaelites. Doesn't even say. This is Wikipedia? This is garbage. This is garbage. Okay, here they are. Yeah. All right, Keturah, there it is. After the death of Mother Sarah, Isaac married Rebekah. Abraham then married Keturah, which the Jewish people think that Keturah is the same one as Hagar. But I'm not sure if it's the same as Hagar. But anyways, there's Keturah. So I bore him 6 more sons. Okay. Zimram, Jokshan, Medan, Midian. There we go. It's back. Shua. So yeah, it is Midian. So now I learned something today. So the Midianites are supposed to be good, but apparently they weren't so good. Anyway, let's see. So yeah. That's what that is. If I can find this page again. Okay, so the idea is The idea is that Europe is already Semitically DNA to a great extent, and as we saw in the chart that I lost, which can't be too far away, that there was some Asian. Well, if it's the X in the wait a minute, that is if the X. I think the X is. Let me see. Where's the chart? Looking for the chart. Oh, here's Europe. Look. See what this chart says. Okay. Well, this is exactly what I don't like. What's non-Mediterranean? What's Mediterranean? Makes no sense. Define Mediterranean for me. Okay. South Asian caste. Okay, that's interesting. I got bovine. I'll put in human in here. Anyways, I'll find the chart. Okay, what's this? Because it's interesting to have U2, but U2 is not the entire U population, so it's only a slice. Okay. Oh, what's this? Well, let's go with this chart because this chart shows which is which. So it's the C's, the D, the G, and the E. The X is actually, remember the X? That's actually Semitic. So the X is actually Semitic, and it could be part of the Jewish population as well. So before, when we were looking at the X, and I was thinking it was Asian, it's not Asian. That's why I'm saying. Okay, so what is here that's not Semitic would be the purple, the blue, the light blue, and the black, which is basically non-existent in here. Up here, see, the more you go up north, the more there's a blue. There's a blue here, and this purple, this dark purple color, of course, the dark purple here. More north you go, the more east you go, more Asian mitochondrial DNA there is. But the Q is this pink color, which is, I guess, over here. But yeah, the M, the C, M would be this pea green color, light. And the C, the Z, the D, so it'd be the blues, the purple, and the black. It's black. The black there is the J-peptide mitochondrial DNA, which is not very much for some reason. Not nearly as much as the N, which, of course, you have the A and the B in America, which is not part of the signature. I think the W is and the X. The W and the X are in the Jewish populations. The H, V, H, V, P, J, T, U, K are in the Jewish populations, which is basically everything you see here in Europe. So Europe is largely, significantly Semitic mitochondrial DNA. Without question. Then to add on top of it, there's the IY chromosome that survived. Now look at this. This is interesting here. Notice how they scheme it. This is why nobody understands this stuff. Look at the way they name this stuff. Remember, like I was saying, where is it? See, this is Germanic Y DNA. What's Germanic? What's Germanic Y DNA? You look down here, including starting out here, I1, I2, then it goes into R's, which is the Asian. So first you have it's Semitic. First and foremost is Semitic. This so-called Germanic unit, which is the Viking Anglo-Saxon territory, Germany, which went all the way to England, and that's the reason why I'm here. This so-called Germanic DNA is really Israelite DNA. No wonder people don't understand it. No wonder nobody understands this. I1, I2, that's Israelite DNA. Semitic Israelite, branching off from the JY chromosome, as we can see from here. Okay, there's JY chromosome right there, J2, but the I branches off from the JY chromosome. It's the same tree, and it is the lost tribes of Israel. Who else will it be? And DNA doesn't lie. So that's what that is. And see how separate the other ones are? The F is the Aramean or Syrians. The G is the Assyrians or descendants of Asher of the Assyrians. The F, I got F2. And the H and the L is the Elamite Dravidians. So we have the Elamites, the Assyrians, the Syrians. These are all the Semitic Y chromosomes that survived to this day. And then, of course, the surviving Judaic, if this is Judaic, I don't even know if it's Judaic, but a Judaic Y chromosome and the Israelite Y chromosome. So the J is for Judah and the I is for Israel. And the R is for Gomer, Ashkenaz. Ashkenazi DNA has R Y chromosome. Whether or not that's what it is, otherwise it would have to be something else. And it's not the O and the N's. And it's not these. So it has to be this. So it has to be Gomer, basically. It has to be Ashkenaz. The only surviving ones are the descendants of Ashkenaz, which is the RY chromosome, which means that it could have been, I mean, I already know that the IY chromosome was there among this population when they invaded Europe, but that would mean that they were with the RY chromosome when it spread through Europe, which is another story. Because they were hired soldiers. The Scythians and the people that, the people that were spread abroad, the Judaic people and the Israelite people that were spread abroad, part of their employment or some of their employment was to be soldiers, hired soldiers that would invade places or conquer places. So that might explain the RY chromosome as well. I mean, of course, this is spread through Europe, but only, as we just saw, only the Y chromosome paternal line is in Europe without the maternal Asian or Japhetic Y chromosome. So this is why nobody realizes, nobody knows that these are Israelites here because they're called Germanic. And then what do the Germanic tribes consist of? I1, I2, principally, because that's where I1 and I2 is. I2 is in this area here. I1 is in this area here, which is basically the same tree anyway. But this is why nobody understands it, that Europe is Semitic. Of course, Italy is, of course, Greece is, of course, Turkey is. We've already seen that as well. And Spain and Portugal and France. And because all the Celtic tribes, all the Scythian tribes, all these European tribes, the supposed, whatever, hunter-gatherers or whatever. Well, I don't know about the hunter-gatherers because originally there was Javan and Taraz, the sons of Japheth, were in Europe. But they're probably the Neanderthals in Europe that went extinct. I don't know about Javan. Javan might be the T and the L. If that's the case, he still survives. The T and the L. But if not, it's another son of Japheth. And the Neanderthals are extinct in Europe. And the only remaining Y chromosome in Europe is the RY chromosome that's Asian. And they are largely associated with the Israelites tribes in Europe. I mean, they were all over Europe to begin with because of the Mediterranean, but when they were expelled from Israel, which is right here, they were pushed north. And then from here, they spread into Europe this way. They spread into Russia this way. That's why Russians are, too, to a large extent, Israelite in this area here. Only the name is a Japhethite. Only in name only is a Japhethite. Majority of the genome is Israelite in Europe. I mean, that's why Europeans don't look Asian, because they look more Semitic. And if you want to know what Semitic people look like, Italy is a good example of what Semitic people look like. Of course, not exactly the same in every case, but they do have a large population of Jewish people as well. So we just about have it figured out. Oh, they got a new U2 clade found in Europe. Got another U clade. Anyway, so what's this? Okay, that's that. Okay, here's the impact of the Yamnaya's steppe pastors. Maybe somebody might be interested in looking at this. So basically, what I was just talking about, the Yamnayas with the RY chromosome, of course, mixed with Israelite populations that went this way and this way and this way, and basically invaded Europe, along with, Attila the Hun is one example. I don't know how many other examples there are, but Attila the Hun just about destroyed Europe, destroyed Rome, and of course, everything comes to an end anyways, but so eventually Attila the Hun reign of terror came to an end eventually, but he basically destroyed Europe. I don't know why they don't. So they show this the flow of Yamnaya, and they hesitate to say that it was Attila the Hun. I don't know what the problem is. I mean, Attila the Hun wasn't the only one. That means there was more people. The Yamnayas, or how we want to pronounce it. I guess they went both ways. Of course, this is a steppe. It's a grassland. It stretches from here to here to even over here. And they had horses, so they just always went to greener and greener pastures, which was towards Europe, from what they say. Of course, there's a mountain pass here to pass over into this other side from this area here, where the Israelites were banished to, northern Babylon, Mesopotamia. So they went both this way and this way into Europe, along with the Syrians, along with the TY chromosome, or the L anti. Anyways, that's somewhat interesting. Okay, Yamnaya other ancestry. Okay, so the dark is the Yamnayas. These others are other ancestries. I guess it's comparing the whole. There's the Eurasian steppe, the flow of Yamnaya derived ancestry. Okay, so they're saying from here they went both ways into Europe and Asia. And this looks like the area of the Kazakhs, but who converted to Judaism, probably because they were familiar with Judaism, because there were Jews in the area. And they're the ones that converted to Judaism. I don't know if it's the Yamnayas, but the other ones, the Kazakhs did. The Yamnayas, I guess, were before the Kazakhs. I don't know. So this is apparently the RY chromosome in relation to the rest of the Y chromosome. I don't know. Yamnaya ancestry. Okay, must be the Yamnaya DNA in Europeans. But then Yamnaya could be partially Semitic to begin with. partially Israelite to begin with. And so as they're spreading into Europe, they're also spreading the Semitic DNA as well. Here we have the J2s are in this area, right here. The land of Sinim. Anyways, I'm starting to get tired. I'm sure everybody else is too. There's Peter. Oh, Peter, would you like to have a discussion? On the spot? You should read the article. Okay. If you use DNA evidence to support, let me put this on the screen here. What am I doing? Is this right? It's showing the screen. I gotta stop screen share. Okay. If you use DNA evidence to support your flood myth heredity claim, then you must agree with DNA science of heredity passing on DNA with changes, which also DNA evidence supporting evolution, which is the same song we hear all the time. You are taking graphs from science you don't understand. And of course, this is all stuff he said before. You assign meaning to it based on your bias. A lot of projection going on here. You should read the article. Can't today. He says he can't. Well, that would have been all right. Because Peter's a sharp guy. He's just, misled a little bit. You should read the article that this image is a part of. Yeah, I wanted to go through with this with some. Maybe I can get Wildheart in. Wildheart, you want to join? Jesus is Lord. The rhesus gene. See, I don't know what I haven't gone into the blood types yet, so I don't know what the rhesus gene is. Shalom, Jill. I got to get Wildheart in here to discuss DNA. Work. Oh, Peter's working. Okay. Of course, you can't talk while you're working very well. Okay. Oh, Wildheart's an atheist? Oh, really? Oh, yeah. No thanks. It's late in the UK. Uh-oh. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, well, it's interesting. I've already studied the Y chromosome pretty much. I've assigned names to the letters of the Y chromosome, and I'm just about ready to find out, start assigning MtDNA haplogroups to the 4 women of Israel, 4 mothers of Israel, which there were 4 of them for the 12 tribes of Israel. So, but it is really interesting how Israel managed to stay together that long, as long as they did, being from, different mothers, brothers from a different mother, which normally, under normal circumstances, they would have spread out and been, into oblivion, or else, unless, because only in this cruel, evil world, only the strong survive. And that's what we see time and time again with the Assyrians, the Syrians, the Attila the Huns. And of course, who knows what happened with the OY chromosome, how the OY chromosome got so big. The OY chromosome is the largest population in the world. And who knows the story of the OY chromosome? Who knows what that story is? Might have to dig into the archives of China to find out what that story is. But it's a Japhethite Y chromosome, probably Magog is the OY chromosome. So, because it's the only one left. The only one left is the OY chromosome and the RY chromosome. And the L and T and the K, S, and M, which is Australia and the islands, which somewhere in there is a Denisovan too, which who knows if they went extinct or if it's just the female. It was just a female pinky that was found. Well, I guess they found some teeth too or something. But they don't have a Y chromosome yet for the Denisovan DNA, or they're hiding the fact that of what it is, because it's probably a K, an M, or an S, or an O. That's what it has. If it's in the area, that's probably what it is. If it's not, it's another extinct descendant of Japheth. So, anyways, DNA doesn't lie, Peter. That is what it is. And it's very interesting. At least I find it to be. By way of quick review, we got the LOA, or the L0A. They're numbers, letters and numbers and letters. L0A, L0F, L0K, L0D, L0B, L1C, L5, L2, L6. I think they would come up with a better labeling system. L3B, L3F, L3C, L3D, L3E, L3I, L3X, L3H. They got to come up with a better labeling system. At least give them names or something. Call this one Egyptus right here. L000. Call her Egyptus. And all the sons, because Ham had 2 wives and he had 4 sons. But of the 2 wives that he had, apparently they're all in Africa, or there's only one left, because you can see it's all red. Africa's all red. That's because they never went anywhere else. They went from the Mesopotamian area after the breakup of the continents, and they went into Egypt and stayed there. All these L descendants, maternal line descendants of the wives of Ham, which I think there were 2 of them, 2 wives of Ham. They all went to Africa and stayed there, or whatever. So that's what happened there. Then there's the M's, which are the C, Z, E, G, and D. You have to remember that. The C, Z, E, G, and D, and Q. These are the M's. So Let's go, and the rest of them are M's. You can see these. The rest of these are all M. So the C, Z, G, and D, and Q. Now let's see if we can find them in Europe. Okay. If we can, let's get European MtDNA pie chart. All right, so let's go see if we can find any of those. What's this? What is this? I don't know. It's not Europe. What's this? America? I think it's the American MtDNA because they started labeling them A, B, C, D, E, whatever. No, this is Europe. But it's not. This is just alphabetical designation. It's not the correct designation. It's just A, B, C, D, E, and because it's not the way it is. Okay, is distribution of MtDNA. MtDNA. How about this one? This one might work. Yeah, this one fairly clear. Okay, so we have here. This is the Y chromosome. The Y chromosome, I need the MtDNA. Well, this looks pretty interesting here. Geographic distributions of MtDNA. Okay, whatever. Oh. Okay, so we got the H, the L. Of course, the L, we know what the L is. The green and the blue. So the green and the blue are the Egyptus Y chromosomes. I mean, the haplogroup. Wow. Even in Africa? Even Africa doesn't have. Wow. Even Africa doesn't have African maternal DNA. Well, it does. I expected to see more of it. Okay, so the green and the red. So you learn stuff. And the blue. Okay, there we go. So the green, the red, and the blue are African mitochondrial DNA. Okay, so here we go. Green, red, and blue, that's over half. Green, red, and blue, less than half. Green, red, and blue, over half. Okay, now we're getting overhead. Green, red, and blue, majority. Red and blue. Green, blue, red. Green, red, blue. Oh, excluding the V. Okay, the purple is other L. L1. Oh, no. Purple is L1. So I can't even put this stuff in order. So the purple is L1, and there's 2 and 3. So it's the purple, the green, and the blue. Purple, green, and blue. Purple, green, and blue. I mean, green and red. I mean, green, blue, and red. Yeah. Green, blue, red, purple. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Well, of course, in Egypt, you would expect to see other. There's a lot of other here. This is other. I don't know why they can't tell you what the other is. It's half of the population. It's probably H and V. Well, yeah, they don't have no HVs here, do they? Yeah, and K and T and U. It's probably and Ethiopia as well. Both Ethiopia and Egypt probably have strongly Semitic maternal DNA, and they don't want you to know that probably. And the H, what's the H? Oh, the H of E. Okay, that's the H. Oh, so that what? No, the H. The H is red. The H is red. So that's not even. Wait a minute. It's only the green and the blue is the L African DNA, maternal DNA. The green and the blue, green and the blue, green and the blue. The red is European. The red is Semitic. The red is H. The H and the V is the same thing. So this dark blue, or yeah, this dark blue. If there's a dark blue, yeah, the dark blue here and the red. This dark blue and red is Semitic. It's all Semitic. All this red and dark blue is Semitic. And of course the U, the T, and the K. And there's no, I seriously doubt there's Asian mitochondrial DNA here in Africa. Remember, it had to be the the Z, and the whatever that was. What was it? The C, the Z, the G, the D, and the Q. C, Z, G, D, Q. No, C, Z, E, G, D, Q. Okay, C, Z, E, D, G, Q. Okay, where I'm going. Back over here. C, Z, E, no, C, Z, E, G, D, Q. Nothing, not a drop. Neither here in Africa or in Europe, for that matter. I mean, that's noteworthy. There's other, of course, it'd be included in the other, but it's just a sliver anyway. I don't know why I have so much other here. In the Middle East, they don't want you to know what this other is. But anyways, I'm surprised at how little African or Hamitic mitochondrial DNA there is in Africa. So let's just by review, none of this red, all this red, this is Semitic. The red is Semitic. It's H. It's what I am. This is my mitochondrial DNA. I'm H3G. This H is the same thing as me. In Africa, all this red is the same thing as me. What I am. My maternal line goes back to the same origin. The African MtDNA is the light green, the blue, and the purple. So the light green, the blue, and the purple is the African mitochondrial DNA. Light green, blue, and purple There's purple. Light green, blue, and purple. That's a good portion. That's over half mitochondrial hamite DNA. But these others, green, blue, and purple, that's like a third of the mitochondrial DNA. The rest is something else. Well, that something else could be L2, but I don't see why they would do that. Light green, blue, and purple. That's the extent of the mitochondrial hamitic DNA. Light green, blue, and purple. Okay. See, Ethiopians in Kenya. Light green, blue, and purple is the mitochondrial. Light green, blue, and purple. Up here, light green, blue. It's Egyptians are not almost non-existent for Egyptus DNA. Egyptus maternal line is almost non-existent. Oh, it's, what is this? Not even a quarter of the blue and the green. Not even a quarter. Blue and the green, here's a third. Blue and the green. There's blue and the green, there's more. Over half. And the purple. That's over half, way over half. So, yeah, maybe 2/3 in Kenya. And, well, that's the Kenyans have like 2/3 Egyptus, we'll say. Here's over half, well over half. That's like 2/3 Egyptus too in Nigeria. But the other places, well, there's a 1/3, over 1/3, almost a half. And with these other places, hardly, or just barely 1/3 there, or about a quarter, I guess. A little more than a quarter here of the Egyptus maternal line. Well, here is maybe a quarter, about a quarter in the Moroccans. But the Egyptians themselves have less than a quarter of Egyptus DNA, maternal DNA. Anyways, you get the idea. But the point I was wanting to emphasize was the total lack of the Asian MtDNA in Europe. Of course, there is. Let's see how much green, blue, and purple there is in Europe. It's not significant enough to even see. Here's over here. You can see green, blue, green, blue, green, blue sliver, green, blue here. Here's green, blue. But up here, there's no green, blues. But there is. I mean, it's like 2% EY chromosome, which is Egyptus. So the E stands for Egypt. Well, no. What am I saying? The LY chromosome stands for Egyptus. In Europe, it's about 2% LY chromosome, which is Egyptus, and the like, and facsimile. But yeah, it's not almost, I mean, it's not even registering here in Europe but the same can be said for the Asian or Japhetic maternal lines is non-existent in Europe too. So we can safely say that all this area of Turkey and Iran is like half, almost half the Jewish Y chromosome, or not Jewish. Uh, well, we can look at it. So I'm not just making statements, but it's a huge population of Judaic, not even Israelite, but Judaic population in Turkey and Iran, especially, and all through Greece and Italy as well. Judaic, J2, not even J1, but we've seen the maps already, anyways, so showing that. But right now, as far as the MtDNA is concerned, Asian MtDNA is pretty much, it's not even showing on this chart. I gotta get a better chart. Um, so what did I do? I blanked it out. See if I can find a better chart. Kinship Society Research. Okay. This is a pretty good chart. Oh, here's Europe, right? Yeah, this will work. Yeah. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. This to rub it in. Remember that what the what's this ABC? This Y chromosome? Oh, it is Y chromosome. Anyways, even so, the R's is the green. Well, I mean, I showed what the Israelite population is. This light blue, this J and this I, the light blue and the red. So the light blue and the red are the J and I Y chromosome. So right here, that's half the population is either Judaic or Israelite Y chromosome. Here's a huge percentage. Here's a huge percentage. Even places like Sardinia, of course, Italy. And there it is right there. It's light blue, 1/4 of the population. This is basically from where my ancestors came from right there. I mean, my male paternal line ancestry goes back to this area of Scotland right here. And that's where I got this I1 M253 Y chromosome. So I gotta find an MtDNA still chart like this. Which, if they had stuff to work with, human mediated, and if they had some good, here's the W. W is MtDNA. Okay. There's RH negative right there. Okay, Y DNA, still Y DNA. Come on. Is it that hard to get things straight? Apparently so. Look at this. All regions, telling you what region, what percentage of the region. Well, African, Eurasian, Asian. I want to know what it is, not what it's labeled as. What it's African. What's African? No idea what African is. Come on. Gotta be a haplogroup designation. Otherwise, you can't know what it is. So yeah, the H is H1, and they split that up. H1, 2, 3, well, probably because the population's so big and so diverse. But anyways, I guess I can go to this one. This fail safe. This is probably not a very good map anyway. Of course, if you look at this map here, it shows that Europe is all green. That's all Semitic, MtDNA. And this is East meets West. Where? Asian? What's Asian? Come on. What is it supposed to be? East Eurasian. What's that? MtDNA. Well, I mean, it is showing one thing. It's showing West Asian, West Eurasian, South Asian, East Eurasian. At least they're calling it Eurasian, but if you're talking about MtDNA, it's not even Asian. So they don't even know what they're talking about. Because if it's 95% Semitic DNA, where's the Asian? Which is calling West Eurasian anyway, but all that blue, that's not even Eurasian. It's just Semitic. Why don't you call it for what it is? Semitic. It's the same. It's the same mitochondrial DNA as what's in the Jewish populations. Same thing. Same signature. I mean, it's not complicated. Same thing. We're going to label it something else just because it's in Europe, even though it's the same thing. There's the migration myth. See what they're trying to say here, because I haven't seen this map before. What is it? Okay. And when it says, oh, Neanderthal. It's Japhethite. Neanderthals went extinct. They're sons of Japheth over here. The Denisovans are sons of Japheth too. It's Magog all over here, O's and N's. It's Gomer, which is the R's. And it's Tiraz, which is probably extinct Neanderthal. There's Javan, which could be a T, the T's and L's. Then the only ones left are the K, the S, and the M's, which is probably one family anyway, in the Oceania. So either the Denisovan is the K, the S, and the M, or it's an O, or it's extinct. Because there's basically only like 4 families left. There's the RY chromosome, the OY chromosome includes the N, and the R includes the Q. And then there's the L and the T, which are L and T, T here, L here, L here. And the other one left that we can divide it up into 3 people if you want, but it's the M, the K, and the S in Oceania, which are also descendants of Japheth. Look at this. There's talking with the mitochondrial, the L, the L3. Then there's the N's over here and the M's. Of course, this N supposedly ended up all the way over here in Europe, even though it supposedly went here. It ended all the way back up here. And then the M's, who knows where they went? They went over here somewhere, but they're only in this area here of Asia, at least with any significant amount. It's like they could explain it a lot better if they wanted to. But they don't, probably because they don't know themselves to begin with. Here's the Iberian Peninsula discontinuity. Here we go. Let's look at Iberian whatever. Iberian, okay, what is it? Neolithic, Catholic, whatever. These are just different people. Anyway, so do we see the C's, the Z, the D, and the E here? No, there's no C, Z, D, or E here. This is all Semitic, all of it. Every bit of this is all Semitic, and it's all the same thing anyway, regardless of what time it was, what age it was supposed to have been. There's no C here. There's no C, D, Z, E, D, or Q here. It's non-existent. No Asian Y chromosome. Is there an L here? There's an L. L is what color? This gray color? Yeah, this gray color is L. So it's straight gray, not light gray. Wow, you can't tell between the U's and can't even tell what color the L is. Because you got U's that are the same color. The U's are the same color. Okay, it's a different color, but you can't really tell up here. There are no L's. The L is this color here, but where's the color here? I don't see the color. This is a gray gray. This is a blue gray. Where's the gray gray here? That's a blue gray. Where's the gray gray? Is that a gray gray? That's gray gray, right? But that's how much you should be expected anyways. But there's no Asian. The rest is Semitic. Semitic MtDNA. Why don't people just admit or recognize it? See things for what they are. And that's Spain and Portugal. Spain and Portugal only has a sliver of Egyptus. Of course, Africa doesn't even hardly have very much Egyptus. Africa itself has like a quarter of Egyptus, a third of Egyptus, a half of Egyptus, and facsimile. Look at all the different R's. This is all variations of Attila the Hun's family, which they don't even like to admit or say or mention. But it's in name only. It's all RY chromosome in name only. Anyway. No, I mean, obviously, Europeans do have Asian MtDNA. I mean, we also have Neanderthal MtDNA because Neanderthals are extinct Japhethites, extinct Asians, which were in Europe. see what this, yeah, here we go. Now this is a different path they took. The other one said they went way over here. This one says they took a shortcut. Got the L, the N's. Oh, where's the M's? There's no M's. Okay, the L, see the L3, that, I'll tell you, they said it come from an L3. Makes no sense at all. So then you have the N's and the H's are basically all the Semitic in Europe, which didn't come from L3 either. Interesting, very interesting. See what kind of story they tell here. We draw a lot of pictures. They're good at drawing pictures. Okay, some kind of canyon. We know what this is. It's a little piece of this, a little piece of that, and a little piece of the other thing. Some of it human, some of it baboon, some of it an extinct species of ape. Enough of this nonsense. I don't know what they're talking about anyway. KUR, there's a J. Those are all the J's. Okay. Asperger's. Oh, look at Asperger's. This is why. Let's see. Oh, that's a European how. It's got nothing to do with Asperger's. Anyway. Okay, cradle of civilization. Everything came from the cradle of civilization, by the way. Haplogroups. There we go. We've got the H. Okay, so here we go. We're on a roll now. This is all H. How am I supposed to tell? Okay, it's all H. HG3, that's what I am. This must be this yellow here. H3G. Whatever. Doesn't make sense to put. They got labels. They label it ethnic groups instead of the haplogroups. It says haplogroup genetic race map, and it's all ethnic groups instead of haplogroups. So annoying. Oh well. Anyway, is this thing still airing? Still airing. Good show. Later, Peter. Oh, I'm not showing the screen. Oh, okay. Always do that. Anyway. Look at that. Not even a bit of Asian MtDNA anywhere to be seen. And this dark gray here, This gray here, that's the L Hamitic DNA. Of course, you shouldn't expect to see much of it there anyway. Even if it's close to Africa, you shouldn't expect to see much of it there anyway. But anyway, it's crazy. There's the X. Remember the X? I was asking what the X was. That's Asian. I mean, that's Semitic too. Right? Semitic? Same Semitic thing. It's probably, see who was there. That's the Asher was there. That's Asher. That's Asher's, probably Asher's um, mitochondrial DNA. But it's X. Yeah, X is right. Okay. It's Asher. Asher's maternal, or his descendants' maternal DNA of Asher. Probably. And somehow it got over here in the Americas too. I don't know when or why or how or what. Anyway, amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay. Yeah, see this? This doesn't make any sense. This the first human settlements? Oh, that's a waste. Okay. So, but if they want to be scientists, they should probably study ancient history before trying to be a scientist, because then they wouldn't make so many mistakes in their scientific evaluations. Be more scientific if they understood or knew some ancient history. Ancient history. Antiquity in the antiquity. Well, let's get back to the next one. We'll go to this one here. Okay, Davidian. Oh, Arabic. That's profound. Greek. If you don't look at the paternal and maternal lines, you're not going to understand anything of what you're looking at. And if you don't know ancient history, you have to know ancient history and you have to look at what the science is. And that's about it. I guess that's about it. for right now. Melbourne. Melbourne what? George Washington. United Kingdom, Italy. What is this stuff? Foreign born. What? Oh, from the United Kingdom. Okay. Okay. That's not relevant to the discussion. Okay. Getting search results here. So it's not very easy. Let me see what I can do with this here. European human MtDNA. Let's see. Okay, haplogroups. At least I'm getting some haplogroup charts. Okay, Y-DNA. Why's it gotta be Y-DNA? Y-DNA is not MtDNA. Try this here. Maternal. Yeah, understand? Think you'll understand? MtDNA haplogroups. I hope it's not others. Look at that. Why can't they do a decent? Now, in that 11%, 44%, how much of that is Asian? Just a sliver. Why is it got to be not helpful? Okay. Y-DNA, Y-DNA. Oh, now they're dividing people into race. Oh, ancestry. And dark, lighter, light. I saw a funny comedy. It was about some judges that were determining whether or not somebody could call themselves Asian or not, if they were an eighth of a percent or a quarter of a percent. And they were judging a person who is an eighth of a percent whether they could call themselves Asian. And they were making all these stipulations of what you could and could not do. And even if you're a quarter percent Asian, you're probably not being very Asian. And then the next panel was to judge if you could be black. And the girl says, "I'm an eighth percent black," and all the judges said, "You're black." But that's an inside joke, I guess. Have to understand it, I guess. Let's see. Major Y and MtDNA. Why is it got to mix them? How can you mix Y and MtDNA? That's Y. Where's the MtDNA? Anyways, by way of review, the J and the I is the green and this purple color. So green and purple, green and purple, green and purple. actually the pink to green. Oh, pink and green. Yeah, purple. Okay, half, over half, 3/4, over 3/4. These are the kind of percentages that you have of actual um, descendants of Jacob in Europe on the male side, the male paternal line. What remains after Attila the Hun, you know, demoralized the place or whatever. And okay, the N's of course are the Q's. I mean the O's. The N's and O's are the same thing. So this purple color N's are the Asian O's, and the red and the yellows are the Asian R's. Red and the yellows are R's, and this of course the N is the O family, and what's not red, yellow, or purple is Semitic, basically, unless it's African. This is African up in here. Of course, some of this, believe it or not, some of this African is from Jewish people that took it up into Europe. Believe it or not. In fact, all these strong, huge um, these Judaic and Israelite populations have some African in them. They brought them in. They brought the African, like Einstein, into Europe and Hitler into Europe. It was the Jewish populations or the Israelite populations that brought a lot of these African populations into Europe. I mean, in their population, in their own population. Well, among their own population. So even if you do see, deep in Europe, some African populations, could be that the Jewish people brought those Y chromosomes into Africa. I mean, into Europe. I mean, for sure they did, at least a certain amount, certain percentages. But that's not an MtDNA study. So you can see how they're trying to obfuscate what the issues and facts are. They're trying to make it hard for people to understand, or they don't understand themselves, I don't know which is worse. But by way of review, these here, which are in Asia and Africa, are Semitic maternal MtDNA haplogroups. Semitic, but they're Asiatic in Asia. These colors here. The C's, the Z, the D, the G, the E are Japhethite maternal MtDNA haplogroups, which are non-existent in Europe. Non-existent. They don't exist, to any significant amount in Europe or in Africa, for that matter. And what does exist in Europe, it's not the L Hamite African population or Egyptus and our sister haplogroups, mitochondrial DNA. It's not the L's, in Europe. It's not the Japhethites in Europe. So what is it? What's the majority of the MtDNA haplogroups in Europe? They're Semitic, and to be specific, what is significant, or what is from the Jewish populations in Europe. And in other words, what's in the Middle East from the Jewish people is also in Europe. And you can see by the blues and the U and the green, the T, and the purple U, we already saw that, and the blue H and the yellow. All this is Semitic signature MtDNA haplogroups from the Israelite and Jewish people that went into Europe from the four mothers of Israel, because there were four mothers. But that's what Europe is. Europe, they say if you have a Jewish mother, you're Jewish. So that means Europe is Jewish. It's really not complicated. Phylogenetic tree. So if it's not African, it's not Asian, it's Semitic, and more specifically, it's Jewish. This is U5. Okay, that's unrelated. Because we've already looked at the Jewish populations. I mean, the Jewish pie charts. Here's one of them right here. Right here. Of course, this is all mixed up, but you get the idea. Because what's Asian? What's Near East? What's unassigned? It makes no sense. And even the Asian is 1%. Near East is where the Jewish people were half the time. Anyways, but look at this: H, K, N, T, H, and J. This is the signature. This is the signature of the Jewish people, the mitochondrial DNA, and that's what Europe consists of. It's exactly what Europe consists of. Okay, Europe. So this is Juventus. Okay, here we go. We got an idea here. Okay, we got the N. This is only the N's. Okay, so this is only the Semitic population. They're trying to say that these are South Asia, they went to Europe and North Africa. Somehow this one got North Africa, I guess. So we got the H, and that's a U. So a U made it to Africa, North Africa. Other than that, we got the X, we got the R, which is MtDNA RO, N, 1, the N's, the X, the R, the J, the T, the U, the U's. That's not even showing all there is. But you got the H1, 2, 3 is Europe. Oh, South Asia. No, I think they're making up stuff. They're making up stuff. Okay, they're pushing the narrative that it had to go to Southwest Asia first before it went to Europe. Of course, they couldn't do it with this line. So I don't know what happened there. Well, it's just so annoying. Study history first. You won't mess up your science. Okay. Here is, what is this? Y chromosome. This is G, right? Yeah, this is the G, the Assyrian. Assyrians who also went up into Germany. Okay, the G, is that G? That's G, right? Oh, J2. We're talking about J2 anyway. But look at how much J2 is in J2. This is Judaic in Europe. That's how much Judaic in Europe there is. Not to mention this I from Israel. But that's about it. I guess we're scarce on MtDNA haplogroups. Don't want to study the maternal lines very much. Only if it can tell a story they want to tell. Then they'll tell it, because this is T and mtDNA right here. Now this is a different T. It's not the same T I was looking at before. Not the same one. It's got to be a specific T, because you got T all the way down here, the Horn of Africa. Or somebody just messed up the whole map. Probably they messed up the map. Or they put in a specific T. Anyway, that's about it, I guess. I'm about out of it. HV. Anyway, I think you get the idea, right? This map is confusing here. It's only like people selected that they wanted to select. Okay. And they put the L group out both sides of the diagram. Okay, here's the H, L, N. Okay, Neanderthals and humans interbred. No kidding. Neanderthals are humans. They're from descendants of Japheth. Probably the descendants of Tiraz that was in Europe and went extinct. That's why Asians have Neanderthal DNA, because it comes from the same family. And the Denisovans too. Same family. Okay. That's about it, I guess. That's about it. Ancient MtDNA. Wow. DNA. Anyway, you gotta get the graph. I mean, the translate it. MtDNA. Northeast. What's this? Northeast. A, B, C, D. Notice that the C and the D is the same color as the A and the B, and they're two different families. They don't belong. They don't even belong in the same family, and they got them the same color. This is what I'm talking about. The A and the B is Semitic. The C and the D is Japhetic. It's a complete different family tree. Okay, so now northeastern Brazil, we got a lot of L. This is today, obviously. L1, 2, 3. Oh, so they got a lot of L1, 2, and 3. H, we know what H is. KT. This is basically the Semitic MtDNA here. I mean the Jewish signature. The Jewish signature, because this is America. This is Europe. This is Africa. S, M, and G. This is the Asian MtDNA right here. Okay, and well, of course, the A and the B is Asian. I mean, the C and the D is Asian. So the C, the D, the X is Semitic. Don't know what that's doing there. The G is Semitic too. The M, S and the M. No, the M is by itself. The M is the only Asian there is. The rest is Semitic and or Hamitic. So this is Hamitic. This brown color is Hamitic. The blue color is Judaic Semitic, and these other colors, with the exception of the A and the B, or I mean the C and the D, is see Semitic. Most of this is Semitic, but Semitic people in Asia, let's say. So that includes the A and the B. C and the D are the only Japhetic MtDNAs in this chart. Because it's, of course, Brazil. Because that's where the C and the D is. Wow. Of course, it's Asian MtDNA that went to the Americas. Which should be self-explanatory. Still not Europe, and it's still not anything other than Israelite DNA in Europe. Israelite and Judaic both. There's some MtDNA. Well, I was talking about proteins. It's not even talking about anything else. Talking about transposons. Yeah, transposons in mitochondrial DNA. Introns, component of human genome. See, this is strange here. Is this nuclear DNA? It looks like, because they're talking about transposon, retrotransposon, simple sequence repeats, but it's not what we're looking for, I guess. Okay. World age. Okay, let's just paint on the map, whatever color they want to paint it. This one I looked at. Well, we basically verified that Europe only has Semitic MtDNA, which is the same signature as what's in the Jewish people, what the Jewish people have. So, yeah, it's really not hard to understand. What happened. And just because you see the RY chromosome in Europe, it doesn't mean that they're Japhetic. It means that most people are descended from a male descendant who is Japhetic. But autosomally, the person is probably mostly Israelite and Semitic and Judaic. Wait a minute, what is this? This making fun? Making fun of what the facts are. Well, about it. Pretty much did all I can do today. Considered I was tired to begin with. So might as well stop wasting my stream here. Melanesian, there we go. Let's look at the Melanesian here. Oceania. North Isles, Melanesia, MtDNA haplogroup frequency. Okay. New Britain, New Ireland, Malaysia, and Gainesville. Gainesville. Oh, yeah. Somehow it's not showing up here. It didn't work. Or I'm not looking for a place. Or is it? Okay. So remember the A, the B. We got the BP, Q, E, M. We got the M's, the E, E. We got the E for B. No, it's this is mitochondria, right? I don't know. Is this mitochondria? It's gotta be, right? Q. Well, this is Y chromosome. It's gotta be. Because you have the M's in the area, and we have the Q's, of course, the Q's. Um, E. E belongs to which family? I don't know what E belongs to. And the B. Yeah, the B. Is that the same B in America? I don't know. This is confusing. Wish they would. They gotta make it intelligible. Can't they label stuff? Yeah, it's about. I'm unable to think right now or remember or think because it takes energy to think, and I don't have energy. But that's the P. T, E, M. Well, the Q is the Q. The B is the same B that went to America. Um, P is here somewhere. Where's this color? Dark gray. Dark gray right there. Right there too. The E is just where's the E branch off of? I don't know where the E branch is off of. I just have to figure that out somehow. I already looked at this. A, B, C, D, F, G, D. Okay, so we got the C, D, G, and Z. Is that what it was? I got C, D, E, and G. Anyway. Oh. And this doesn't have the O here. That's the Y chromosome. We're going to have the O. Okay. The F. Oh. Well, yeah, I don't know what the F is right off the hand. A lot of diversity in this area here, but not in these areas here. Much. Well, might as well quit. Nicely done, and I'm glad somebody thinks so. Later, Wild Heart. Later. Okay. Now that I messed up another stream, Peter said that I didn't understand what was going on here. Let's see. Yeah, but it was while he's working, he can't come discuss it. But he thinks I don't understand what the charts are saying. 8,000 years ago, 500 plus 8,000 before the flood myth. No, it's your evolution myth. Same difference. I mean, who's to say your evolution is not a myth? Or have you ever thought of it? Well, okay, because it has to be creation. Can't be mythical. Your parents are not mythical. Your ancestors aren't mythical. Okay. But I'm a little bit worn out from the drive yesterday, so God bless everybody. Take care, and see you around. And don't forget the challenge. I'm going to put out a challenge to do something for God. You know, just a small challenge that we can do for God, only for Him. It's just like a burnt offering, like a gift to God, directly to God. And it's just an idea that I was thinking about, and I just want to challenge people to do the same thing what I plan to do. But I'm hoping that it catches and more people will do what I what I'm planning to do. And if it spreads like wildfire, because Jesus said, "Behold, the fields are white unto harvest." So, hey, Robin, how you doing? God bless. Um, Fields are white unto harvest. Ramen Dango knows more than anybody. The fields are white unto harvest. And all we have to do is to go into his harvest and reap the blessing, the rewards, and the blessing, and save people who are lost and can't be saved other than us bringing the word of God to them. God bless and take care.